listen carefully to the story, because Shelley is going to ask a question about it.
Mom, do I have to take Omi to Grandparents' Day? Mom whirls around so fast she knocks the bowl of peanuts right off the coffee table. Peanuts skitter everywhere. Shh! What if Omi hears you? Mom doesn't understand that it's one thing to play games and have fun with my strange grandmother at home, but it's asking a lot to take her to school with me. For starters, Omi looks weird. You can tell she doesn't believe in hairdressers. She cuts her own hair and washes it with soap instead of shampoo. Her favorite shoes are a pair of old green rubber boots held together with duct tape. Omi doesn't even live in a house like normal people. She lives on her boat and never has the same address 2 weeks in a row. She collects dead bugs from every continent as a hobby. Ready? Omi saunters into the living room. I look at her feet. Oh, sensible sandals. That's a relief. Omi smiles at me. At least she's not a cheek tweaker like Emily's grandmother. Do you have something to show everyone? I ask, trying not to sound too nervous. My teacher, Mrs. Ballantyne, wants our grandparents to talk about something that's important to them. Of course I do, Omi says. She doesn't tell me what special object she's bringing to school. I can only imagine. Mrs. Ballantyne's classroom looks very small with all those grandparents squished inside. Chairs scrapes across the floor as the old people try to get comfortable. Only Mr. Elliot looks at home. He's sitting in his wheelchair with his feet up. When Adam introduces him, he says,
"This is my great-grandpa Elliot. I had to bring him because my one grandpa's dead, the other one lives in Milwaukee, and both my grandmas live in Florida."
Thank you, Adam. Mrs. Ballantyne squints at the clock. Next, one by one, all the kids say something about their grandparents. When it's my turn, I just say, "This is my Omi." That's German for grandmother. They don't need to know anything else. The knot in my stomach tightens a little when Mrs. Ballantyne says, "Did everyone remember to bring something to talk about?" I still don't know what Omi has in mind. Jocelyn's grandma shows us 22 tiny dolls from different countries. She won't let us touch them though, but that's okay. We understand just how precious they are. Mr. Elliot has brought a dusty old book about Sherlock Holmes.
"I've been operating whodunit books for 37 years,
he says, and gives us each a business card to take home to show our parents. Then it's Omi's turn. I watch to see what she's going to pull out of her backpack. Camel bells, maybe? Or a shark's tooth. But she doesn't even look at her backpack. My grandmother, in front of everyone, leans forward and slowly pulls up her pant leg. Everyone can see her sensible sandal. She tugs her pant leg higher until we are all staring at her calf. Everyone gasps at the huge purplish blue-black scar on the back of her leg. It looks as if someone has dug out a hollow and then painted it. Not very neatly either.
"Wow, what happened?"
Jacob asks. "Snake bite," Omi says, and Ellen covers her eyes with her hands. Even Mr. Thornton, who fought in the war, goes pale. "It happened in Brazil many years ago. I was much younger, not much more than a child myself." Toby and Alicia lean forward, eyes wide, mouths open. "The snake was huge." She pulls her hands apart to show us how big it was. "It was green and brown with stripes across its back and black and gold eyes." "Where was it?" Alicia asks, leaning so far forward she nearly falls off her chair. "At first it was under a log, which is why I didn't see it right away. But I sure saw it when it struck. Whap!" She smacks her open palm against her calf, and we all jump back, hearts thudding. "That snake sank its fangs into my leg." Poor Mrs. Ballantyne. Everybody wants to hear more of Omi's stories. Nobody is very interested in the wooden duck Mr. Sherez carved and painted himself, even though he's polished the wings so much they practically glow. When the last of the grandparents has spoken, it's hard to get close to Omi because everybody wants to talk to her. After snack time, Omi takes my hand and squeezes it. At lunchtime, Mrs. Ballantyne shoos everyone out of the classroom, and as I walk home with Omi, I tell her, I hope nobody ever finds a cure for weirdness. She raises an eyebrow and says, I don't know anybody weird, do you? Me either, I say, but if I did, I wouldn't want them to change.
Wow, that was great. I wish I had a grandma or a grandpa. Do you have grandparents' friends? I hope so, because then they can spoil you. Oops. Shelley, what is our question for our SMS competition today?
Friends, the question for our SMS competition today is, what did Omi show the children at school? Was it her leg or her hair?
Hey, that's very easy. I'll repeat the question. What did Omi show the children at school? Was it her leg or her hair?
Just SMS your name, address, and answer to 33010. That's 33010.
33010. 33010.
And remember that SMS costs R1.50 each.
And if you can't SMS yet, just ask your mommy or daddy or older brother or sister or any adult to send it to us. We'll announce the 5 winners of this book next week after the show.
That's right. Snazzy, are you going to go and help Frankie Frog find his grandparents?
Oh no, I almost forgot. Oh, poor Frankie Frog. I better be off. Cheers, Shelley.
Bye. Well, friends, it seems that Snazzy is giving a lot of friends a ride these days. We'll catch up with him later. But I have a brand new competition that I want to tell you about. But we'll do that later too.
What are we going to do today? I don't know. Let's sit in the sun a bit. I'm tired.
Ribbit. Oh, yes. I think I found my grandparents. Yippee!
What was that, young man? That's not a man. That's a frog. So, what do you want, frog?
Ribbit, never mind. You're not my grandparents.
Let's cheer him up, Grandpa.
My grandpa and grandma live very far away, but we talk on the phone every other day. When they come to visit us, they take us all along. We ride in Grandpa's big old car and sing his favorite song.
My grandma makes the greatest cookies, teaches us to sew.
Grandpa tells the wildest stories, helps to make our good